let's cut to now, like, because it's all related, this challenging year that I've had. I kind of woke up in January of 2023, so 11 months ago. And I think it has to do with my age. I think it has to do, 44 years old, really questioning because motherhood is such a just important experience for me. I always knew I wanted to be a mother. I always wanted to have multiple children. I'm one of two. I always thought I was going to have 2 or 3 children. So I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, this is I got to figure this out. This is my last chance if I want to have another experience of bringing life into this world. Because the first time, magical. I had, a wonderful pregnancy, thank God, child healthy, thank God. I had my birth plan played out, natural childbirth. I experienced bringing life, through the portal of my body without medication. And it was all amazing, but there's still some stress when there's so much newness. And when you're trying to learn something new, there's so much stress and kind of tension around the experience, and you want to do it right. And you're learning so much information that it's overwhelming. So I woke up in January of 2023, 11 months ago, and I was like, oh God, I kind of want to experience having another child with a little less stress and tension and overwhelm because I've done it before. I'm one of 2. I had a sibling. I kind of want to give Riley a sibling, even though she has wonderful half siblings. They're all kind of older than her. So I went through that process and that conversation. And in that, I realized, like, wow, time has flown and there's so much that I've become in the last years, but there's also so many parts of myself that I've abandoned. And it's because of conditioning. It's because, societal conditioning, and women are taught to be people pleasers. And, my astrology, it's just that I got Cancer rising and I'm very nurturing and I put other people first. And so I just woke up and I was like, no more. I cannot maintain this mountain on my shoulders of trying to please everybody. It's exhausting. It's going to kill me, basically. And so I have to put myself first. I have to put my needs first. And I cannot take into account everybody's feelings. I have to really think, this is my one experience in this body, in this lifetime. And, even though me having another child might disrupt or ruffle the feathers of some people around me in my environment, it might disrupt my life. It might, obviously affect my current child. Like, I have to really put myself and my needs and my soul's desires first. So that just brought to light how all the places that I've abandoned myself in life and put other people first and other people's expectations and needs and wants. And so this past year, I've just been kind of like healing all of those people-pleasing tendencies. By the way, I've probably gotten like 10% through the process. There's a lot more to go, and I'll be unwinding that whole conditioning probably my whole life. But I really put myself first, and it's been so intense and challenging, and I would liken it to kind of an express lane of healing where I was just like, once I make the decision or set the intention, like, boom, this healer came to me, boom, this experience came to me, boom. And I was just like one after another, and everything just it was just this like miraculous unfolding. And I ended up at Joe Dispenza's Advanced Week Long, which you've heard me talk about, that was transformative. But I would never take the time to leave my family for a week and put my needs first like that. I would be riddled with guilt, or wouldn't have the strength to leave my child who needed me. But because I knew I needed to do it for myself and for my soul, like, my child was okay with it. So it's been super intense for many different reasons that I can't go into because there's just too many people involved and too personal. But I liken it to like being in a cocoon of pressure and like the old self dying, the caterpillar self dying. And it's so dark and mushy and messy and so hard. Like, you need courage to just sit through that process, And yeah, of course, I have my tendencies to escape through, too much wine with my girlfriends or martini, but I had the experience of like, I need to feel this deep discomfort and pain of doing things differently. And upsetting people and disappointing people and putting myself first. And like, oh God, this has been like the most intense year of my life. And there's lots of external challenges as well, you know, in the family, locally, in society, globally, that we're all dealing with, you know, in the cosmos, like astrologically. So we're all feeling that, and it's like a birth canal. I mean, this is the pressure and the fear and the discomfort that I've been feeling. And I was like, you know, I have all these tools, and they're still not working, because when you're going through the fire of transformation, the spiritual bypassing that I've been doing, you know, for the past 20 years in certain areas, like it no longer works. Like, it's game time. You're dropping into your body, and parts of you are dying and new parts of you are being birthed, and it's uncomfortable. So, you know, astrologically, you know, human design, everything points to, I'm supposed to experience life, experience healing, and then share to help others or shine a light on the path, which is, you know, kind of what I do. So it makes sense. So I will continue to share my learnings, specifically as, you know, throughout different interviews as the podcast goes on. But I do feel like all of the healing I've done is about coming back to me. And I've had access to so many wonderful teachers and people and modalities, like Joe Dispenza's work, and intuitives, and, you know, world-renowned astrologers, and so many people that have helped me come back to me. But ultimately, like, I have come back to my own inner voice. And even when people I look up to and almost like guruify, I've now been able to like sit with them and go, okay, that 82% resonates. And yes, yes, yes. But then this voice comes of like, oh, but this is your truth. And I've had the courage to follow that, which I don't, you know, I've had moments before, but I feel like I'm coming into this next reconnection to myself so that I put that voice first. And I know I'll trip and fall, because it's going to be a learning process to really know that voice and know that truth and discern it from other conflicting voices. But as I've healed so much of this people-pleasing aspect of myself, and as I've created the healing space that I never allowed myself to command before, I'm just that voice of truth within me, that voice, that inner guidance system, that knowing that I've had since I was a child, that I get glimpses of. I just feel like that's coming to the forefront and taking the wheel. So all of the pain, I mean, I've cried more tears this year than in my whole life altogether, for sure, and recently. But it just feels like this cleansing, and it's so painful, but it's so necessary. Like that transformation, coming out the other side as a butterfly, or as, you know, a rebirth of self, like something has to die. And I feel like that's what this year has been about, and reconnection to my truth, to my voice. And that's the goal of healing, is to have teachers, have practitioners, have people reflect back to your blind spots, hold your hand through it, but ultimately you come back to you, your inner guru, and your truth, because no one's truth is higher for you than yours. And so that'll be my mission, to continue to shine the light of awareness on how to excavate to your own truth, and to create the conditions in your life and put yourself first and honor yourself first, so you can come into alignment with your truth. So then you can obviously heal your body when you're in alignment, and also show up for your family members and your children and your children's children, to be a better human in the world, and a better partner, and a better mother, or a better father. So that's cool. It's been challenging. It's been painful, but I feel like we're coming out the other side. We're birthing right now. Not over yet, but it's feeling good. So that's happening. I'll continue to share more about that. Thank you for listening to the Heal Podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. And make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. And please rate and review us so that we can grow and reach more people. Thanks so much, and be well.